this video is about following the mode of inheritance for ABO blood groups, which is what determines whether you have type A, type B, type AB, or type O blood type. So the mode of inheritance for your blood type is codominance, but with multiple alleles. So your blood type is actually determined by which antigen or chemical marker is or is not present on the outside of your red blood cells. So there's a gene that codes for a protein called glycosyltransferase. And the function of this protein is to build either type A or type B antigens. There's a mutant form of the gene, and this codes for a non-functioning glycosyltransferase protein, so neither A nor B antigens are built. So here are diagrams of 3 red blood cells. This one has type A antigens on it. This one has type B, and this one does not have any. When we're looking at multiple alleles, what that means is that there are more than 2 alleles for a gene. So up to now, we've been looking at alleles like sickle-shaped allele versus normal, or functioning tyrosinase versus non-functioning. So there's only 2. But in this case, there are actually 3 alleles. There's the type A allele, which builds A antigens, which you'll see in this video, shaped like this. There are the B allele, which makes B antigens, codes for B antigens, that will look like this throughout the video. And then there's this lowercase I, and this is going to represent the allele for type O blood. O doesn't actually mean it's not a type of antigen. It actually expresses the fact that if you have type O blood, no antigens, no ABO blood, or no A or B antigens can be found on your red blood cells. So the allele for A and B are codominant with each other, and O is actually the recessive allele. So O is recessive to both A and B. If you have blood type A, the phenotype of your red blood cells is that they're going to have the A antigens on the outside. There are 2 different genotypes that can code for this phenotype. You can either be homozygous for A, the A allele, or you can be heterozygous with 1 A allele and 1 O allele, because A is dominant over O. If you have type B blood, similarly, you're going to have type B antigens on the outside. You can be homozygous B or heterozygous B in order to get type B blood. Type AB blood is very rare, and you actually have alleles for both the A antigen producing and B antigen producing glycosyltransferases. So your cells make both. If you have type O blood, your cells do not make A or B antigens, and the genotype that codes for that is this homozygous recessive. Multiple alleles means that you can cross a lot of different combinations and come out with a lot of different genotypic and phenotypic ratios. I'm just going to show 2 here, and they're an example of a time when, in this case, I'm going to have a mom with type A and a dad with type B. I'm also going to have a mom with type A and a dad with type B over here. However, since there are multiple alleles and there are multiple genotypes that can code for these phenotypes, when we cross them, they're actually going to have very different, their offspring are going to have very different chances for different genotypes and phenotypes. So if I cross two parents who are both homozygous for their glycosyltransferase, so my mom is homozygous A, my dad is homozygous B, when I cross them, I bring the dad's sperm B's down and the alleles in the mom's eggs over. 100% of my offspring are heterozygous. They have both the A and B alleles. So all of their blood cells will have both A and B antigens, and they'll be said to have type AB blood. In this example, again, I have a mom with type A and a dad with type B. However, this time, they're both heterozygous for A and for B, respectively. So when I set up the Punnett square for this, and I bring the father's alleles down and the mother's alleles over, I'm actually going to end up with 4 different genotypes and 4 different phenotypes. Right? That's very different than this example of a same mom with A and the same dad with B. So you can see I have 25% of mine are AB, 25% of the offspring could be B. There's a 25% chance that your offspring will have A-type blood and 25% chance that they'll have O-type blood. And so there's an equal chance of the offspring getting any one of these genotypes. There are even other ways that you could combine different A and B genotypes that would give you even different combinations, genotypic and phenotypic combinations than these, right? Like what if we cross this mom, who's homozygous for A, with this dad, who's heterozygous for B, or the other way around. You get totally different offspring genotypic and phenotypic probability ratios. All right, so using these principles, I want you to think about this problem. And this is true. All right, so my parents both have type A blood. I have type A blood, but my brother has type O blood. First question, is it possible for my brother to actually be genetically related to my parents and I, since his blood type is totally different than ours? And if so, what must the genotypes of my parents be in order for me to have type A blood and my brother to have type O blood? Think about it, draw a Punnett square, and work it out for yourself.